I stood in the dim light of our attic, the air thick with dust and forgotten memories, clutching the faded letter that shattered my world. It was dated 30 years ago, the day after our wedding, addressed to my wife, Elena, from a man named Victor. My love, it began, our child is safe with me. He'll never know the truth about his father, or how you chose that fool over us. My hands trembled as rage boiled inside me. For 3 decades, I'd built a life with her, raised what I thought was our son, sacrificed everything, only to learn it was all a lie. She had betrayed me from the start, and in that moment, the seed of revenge took root, promising to consume everything she held dear. The discovery hit me like a freight train, but I didn't confront Elena right away. No, that would be too merciful, too quick. I needed her to suffer as I had, silently, over years of eroded trust and hollow affection. That night, as she slept peacefully beside me, oblivious to the storm brewing, I lay awake, my mind a whirlwind of fury. 30 years. 30 years of her smiles masking deceit, her touches laced with poison. Our son, Mark, wasn't mine. He was Victor's, some ghost from her past she'd buried deep. I'd given up my dreams for them. The promising career in architecture traded for a stable job to support our family, the friends I'd lost because Elena demanded my undivided loyalty. And now, it was all built on sand. The burden of revenge settled on me like a heavy cloak, invisible but suffocating. At first, it fueled me. I started small, gathering evidence in secret. I hired a private investigator under the guise of business research. Weeks turned into months as reports trickled in. Victor was alive, wealthy, living in a coastal mansion with no family ties, except the one Elena had hidden. Mark's birth records? Forged subtly, with my name slapped on like an afterthought. The more I uncovered, the deeper the rage burrowed into my soul. It ate away at my days. I'd stare at blueprints at work, my mind drifting to plots of ruin. Colleagues noticed my distraction. "John, you look like hell," they'd say, but I brushed it off with forced laughs. Revenge shaped every decision. I skipped family dinners, claiming overtime, leaving Elena to stew in quiet isolation. Mark, now a successful lawyer in his late 20s, called less often, sensing the chill in our home. Emotionally intense moments clawed at me constantly. One evening, as Elena prepared dinner, her signature lasagna, the one she'd made on our anniversaries, I watched her hum softly, and a wave of conflict crashed over me. Justice demanded I expose her, destroy her facade of the perfect wife. But destruction? It tempted me to go further, to dismantle her life piece by piece. I gripped the counter, knuckles white, torn between storming out and smashing the plates. "What's wrong, love?" she asked, her eyes innocent. I forced a smile, but inside, the revenge whispered, "Make her pay." It affected everyone. Mark's wedding approached. He wanted us both there, beaming parents. But I sabotaged subtly, hinting to him about family secrets, without details, planting seeds of doubt. Elena noticed his growing distance, her face paling during calls. "Why is he avoiding me?" she'd whisper, tears welling. I feigned concern, but inwardly, satisfaction flickered. Yet the burden grew heavier. Nights alone, I'd pace the house, heart pounding with adrenaline and guilt. Not for her, but for how this poison seeped into my own veins. Sleep evaded me, replaced by vivid dreams of confrontation, where her world crumbled under my words. As years, yes, I dragged it out deliberately, passed, revenge became my shadow. I amassed a dossier, emails, photos of Victor, DNA tests confirming the truth. I invested secretly, building wealth Elena knew nothing about, preparing for the day I'd leave her destitute. The toll was immense. Friends drifted away as I became reclusive, obsessed. At a family gathering, Mark confronted me. "Dad, what's eating you?" "Mom's worried sick." I nearly broke then, the justice of truth battling the destruction of his innocence. But I held back, letting the revenge fester. It drove me to extremes. I tracked Victor online, learning his routines, fantasizing about anonymous tips to ruin his business. The pursuit isolated me. Elena aged visibly, her laughter fading, unaware I was the architect of her decline. By the 5th year post-discovery, I was a shell, thinner, sharper, fueled by bitterness. Revenge wasn't just a plan, It was my lifeblood, twisting every joy into ash. Yet in quiet moments, staring at old photos, a flicker of doubt emerged. Would shattering her truly free me, or bind me forever to this hate? The turning point came unexpectedly, not in kindness, but in a raw, unfiltered truth that hardened my resolve. It was during a routine check on Victor. My investigator uncovered a recent email chain between him and Elena. She hadn't cut ties entirely, sporadic messages over the years, confessing her regret for choosing me, wishing she'd fled with him. John was safe, she wrote, but you were passion. Reading it, fury eclipsed any doubt. No moment of softness here. This was fuel, proof her lie wasn't a one-time mistake, but a sustained betrayal. It made me question nothing except why I'd waited so long. Revenge wasn't destruction, it was overdue justice, and I would not waver. The burden intensified, a constant ache in my chest, but it propelled me forward, sharpening my edges. I accelerated the plan, the weight of it now a familiar torment that drove every waking hour. Mark's life intertwined painfully. His marriage faltered under the strain of our family's unspoken tension. He blamed himself, therapy sessions piling up, but I couldn't stop. Her lie had poisoned him too. Intense scenes haunted me. One night, Elena broke down, clutching my arm. "John, talk to me. We're drifting apart." Her vulnerability stirred a storm inside. Justice screamed to reveal everything. Destruction urged me to twist the knife deeper. I pulled away coldly, the revenge eating at my empathy until none remained. It affected our circle brutally. Old friends sided with her during subtle manipulations. I'd accidentally let slip hints of her past indiscretions at gatherings, watching alliances fracture. Elena's social world shrank. Invitations dried up, whispers followed her. She turned inward, health declining. Doctors cited stress, but I knew the source. The burden shaped me into a strategist. I transferred assets covertly, ensuring she'd inherit nothing. Nights blurred into obsession. I'd rehearse speeches, heart racing, torn but unyielding between measured justice and total annihilation. As the 30th anniversary of her lie approached, our wedding day, I orchestrated the climax. I invited everyone, Mark, his estranged wife, mutual friends, even Victor, under a false pretense of reconciliation. The venue was our home, decorated mockingly with photos from our happy years. Elena beamed, thinking it a surprise renewal. But as guests arrived, I unveiled the truth. Projectors flashed the letters, DNA results, emails, her face drained of color, eyes wide in horror. "You lied for 30 years," I thundered, voice steady despite the internal inferno. Victor shifted uncomfortably, exposed as the interloper. Mark staggered, betrayal etching his features. Chaos erupted, shouts, tears, alliances shattering. Elena begged, "John, please, it was a mistake." But I was merciless, detailing every sacrifice, every hollow moment. The confrontation peaked as she collapsed, sobbing, her world in ruins. I filed for divorce that night, assets frozen, leaving her penniless and alone. Victor fled, his reputation tarnished by leaked scandals I'd engineered. In the aftermath, revenge's cost lingered like smoke, my isolation complete, Mark distant, resenting the upheaval. It had eaten me alive, driven ruthless decisions, reshaped my existence into one of calculated cruelty. Yet as I stood in the empty house, a grim satisfaction settled. No peace from letting go, only the cold triumph of justice served. The people around me paid dearly, fractured families, lost trust, but her lie demanded it. Revenge didn't heal, it avenged, and in that, I found a twisted release. Revenge, once ignited by betrayal, becomes an unrelenting force that devours the seeker as much as the target. Yet in its fulfillment lies the only true reckoning for a life stolen by deceit. Moral of the story: in the shadow of profound betrayal, revenge is the unyielding blade that carves justice from the heart of lies, no matter the scars it leaves behind.